then we will skip to Sanjoy Bhose's contribution today. Sanjoy is actually a sales expert who is very, very experienced in training people to do cold calling. And not being a very good sales expert myself, I can tell you if there's anything that non-salespeople, even the real salespeople, are terrified of, it's cold calling. It's reaching out to people, more or less disturbing them in their daily business to try and convince them of something. It's hard to do. It's terribly hard to do. And Sanjoy is an expert in training people how to do that. And in doing so, of course, he ran into millions of stories about things that we all, in being inexperienced, are doing wrong. And he will discuss with us how we can avoid those typical failures and make fun out of a sales process. So really looking forward to that one. And thank you, Sanjoy, for being as flexible as to jump to the front.
Hello, everyone. I haven't got any slides. And I've made up what I'm going to say here today in the last half an hour. What an odd idea for a conference. You have told everyone you know that you're here to learn about failing. So today, I'm in fact no longer a sales trainer. I'm the global director of sales for a technology startup based out of Montreal. You're going to hear a lot today about failure. And I'm sure everyone here has heard it all before, that very successful people will say that I have failed a lot of times. People will always tell you you need to fail and fail and fail. But I want to put to you, is it only the people who have been very, very successful, who are astronomically successful, are these the only people who have failed a lot at the beginnings of their journeys? Do the rest of us normals here successfully avoid failure all the time, which is why we are not astronomically successful? No. Most of you lot, we have all failed a lot. And I'm going to slightly differ from what I've been asked to do, because this is not going to be a fun, sweet talk and cold calling. But what I want to tell you is we have all failed a lot, and 99% of you here will continue to fail a lot, and success will elude you. You won't be successful, even if you fail more than the greats. Why am I saying that? Because I'm saying to you that simply deciding to experience a large volume of failure will not guarantee you success. However, your attitude towards each of your failures will make or break you. Does this work from over here? No, it doesn't. So I have to keep looking like a rapper because this does not work from down here. So excuse me. I left school in 1985 when I was 16. I was a very shy, quiet, fast-talking introvert. I failed every subject. I did not get any O-levels. So, when I left school, I was a real severe loser. I then went into the only profession that will accept you when you're that level of loser, and that is sales. So my first job was selling suits in a menswear shop. And I was terrible at that because I did not want to walk up to people and say, "Can I help you?" In fact, if someone walked into the shop, I would walk to the other side, hoping to avoid eye contact. So 6 months went by. I can't believe they kept me for 6 months. And then I was fired. Then I got into another sales job. And this was in a semi kind of call center environment in 1986. I was terrible at that. I didn't want to pick up the phone and talk to people. So I got fired from there too. Are you all feeling really inspired by this? Now, the next role I got into was selling life assurance, commission only, based out of central London. Now, I started doing that, and guess what, folks? I was useless at that too. However, I noticed clearly around me there were colleagues who were very successful. But what I also noticed was that when successful salespeople made a sale, it was because they felt of themselves, because they were great salespeople. However, when those very same salespeople failed, it wasn't because of them. It was because of the product. It was because of marketing. It's because the customer was unreasonable. It was everything but themselves. Now, I decided that I was not going to take that angle. Now, I think it's because I'm academically stupid. I didn't realize that that's not a very intelligent thing to do. So I was very Catholic about it. Whenever I failed and I didn't get a sale, I always blamed myself completely. I took responsibility. People around me would think that I'm one of those creeps that managers love, because a manager loves to hear the salesperson saying it was my fault. It's not the product or you. But I really was quite stubborn about it. But why was I stubborn about it? Because I felt that if I blamed everyone and everything else for failure, I would not change. I would not grow. So I started writing down in a book all the things that worked in granular detail. And I also started writing down all the things that didn't work. And I was hoping one day I could just look at that and pick out some truth. So I did that for around a year. And one weekend I decided to consolidate what I learned and see, is there anything in there that gives me repeatable success? And then I found 5 rules, which blew my mind, because I'm a simple-minded, uneducated person. So when I saw those 5 rules, I thought, all I have to do is follow those 5 rules and I'll be successful. Now I'm going to fast forward. I did become very good at sales and everything worked. Have you all heard of a company called Compaq? Wake up, it's too early to be dead. Wait till after lunch before you go into a coma. So I worked for Compaq and I did a sales training there. And in that sales training, I did my bit in the classroom. And then everyone at that sales training said to me, but you're just a trainer. What you say is theory. It's not like you'll get on the phone in front of us and do it. I said, all right, bring it on. Here's a speakerphone right here. Give me the name right now of a big corporate that doesn't use Compaq. I only want the switchboard number. In front of your faces, I'll call that company cold. I'll identify the CIO, not an IT manager or a data analyst. I will get through to that CIO in front of you all. That CIO will spend 30 to 45 minutes with me on the phone, telling me everything I want to know. and there will be an appointment with a qualified opportunity. So they said, all right, call the BBC. They only use Dell. You'll never even get the name of the CIO, let alone do all that. So I did call the BBC. I did get through to the CIO. They did tell me everything I wanted to know. And there was an appointment with a qualified opportunity. Now, what is the point of all this? And how does it relate to what I said at the beginning? Which is about how you fail and your attitude to failure. We all fail. A lot of you have failed. And a lot of you will continue to fail. But what I say to you, if you want to make failure into something that helps you, from now on, every time you fail at anything, you take responsibility for that failure. Blame yourself. Where you would think, I want to blame the customer. I want to blame the product. I want to blame everything but me. Don't do that. Blame yourself. A lot of the people who were working around me in 1987-88, doing that basic sales job, they're still doing that. And still complaining, and still failing a lot. So from everything you're going to hear today, you're going to hear a lot about why you need to fail. Why getting to success is only through failure. Yes, it is. However, I say to you, when you fail, blame yourself and take responsibility for that failure. That will mean you can adjust your game and do it differently. Now, if you carry on doing what, I'm going to put it out there, what all of you currently do, which is you don't blame yourself. When you're successful, right? But when you fail, it's not your fault. It's the government policy. It's the product, it's the customer, it's the economy. Blame yourself, and that is the foundation from starting to learn from failure. That's it. Enjoy the rest of the conference, and please keep that in mind when you hear about failure. It starts with you. Thank you very much.